Welcome, 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 fellow Gnomeans. Gnome blessings to you on this third episode of Gnome Talk, the Church of Gnomes version of a Sunday service. I am your host, the Gnomean Elder, founder of the Church of Gnome, the one who you can trust is not a cult leader. Definitely not a cult leader. Today I'm here to guide you through the mystical, magical, and often mind-boggling world of spirituality. And as always, let me remind you, again, that we are not a cult. Gnome blessings. Today we're diving into a topic that has fascinated humans for a millennia: life after death. Across the globe, people hold a wide array of beliefs about what happens after we shuffle off this mortal coil. Some believe in heavenly rewards, others in reincarnation, and a few have some rather humorous takes on the afterlife. Here at the Church of Gnome, our goal isn't to tell you what to believe, because we're not a cult. Instead, we're a community where people can explore what works for them, learn from one another, and hopefully have some fun along the way. In this episode, we're going to journey through the beliefs and death rituals of Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, Jainism, Shinto, ancient Egyptian beliefs, Scientology, Pastafarianism, the Baha'i Faith, Druze, Sikhism, Paganism. I'm probably going to pronounce a lot of stuff wrong this time. Just bear with me. So we're going to explore their views on life after death, their funerary practices, and the common themes and unique perspectives with each of these traditions. And as always, we're going to connect these to our deeply held Gnomean principles wherever they align. Before we dive in, quick disclaimer: we're fitting a lot of beliefs into this episode, so some of what we discuss will be generalized and might not reflect what everyone within these faiths believes. Each religion could have countless hours dedicated to fully exploring these topics, so consider this an introduction rather than an exhaustive study. So now let's talk about why so many people are drawn to religion when it comes to the mystery of death. Death is one of life's greatest unknowns, and it can bring a lot of anxiety. The thought of our existence coming to an end is a profound and often unsettling concept. It's natural for humans to seek answers and comfort in the face of such uncertainty. For many, religion provides a framework that helps make sense of this ultimate mystery, whether it's the promise of a peaceful afterlife, the cycle of reincarnation, or the hope of spiritual liberation. These beliefs offer solace and a sense of continuity. They provide a way to cope with the fear of the unknown and to find meaning in the inevitability of death. I probably shouldn't keep making death sound so dark when I say it, because part of the point of this episode is to make you not feel so stressed out about death. I spent a lot of years making really brutal metal music, death metal music, so I can't help it but say death. Anyways, carrying on. The idea that there is something beyond this life can be incredibly reassuring and can help people to live their lives with purpose and hope. Throughout history, humans have looked to the stars, the earth, and the divine to understand what lies beyond death. Ancient civilizations built elaborate tombs and monuments, not just as places of burial. Wow. We're off to a good start. But as gateways to the afterlife. These practices reflect a universal desire to ensure that the journey beyond death is safe and a peaceful one. Whether it's the pyramids of Egypt, the ancestral rituals of indigenous cultures, or the intricate ceremonies of Eastern religions, every culture has developed its own way to honor and ease the transition of the soul. It's important to acknowledge these beliefs and respect them, as they are deeply personal and often central to people's lives. Death rituals and beliefs are not just about the end of life, they are about how we live. They influence our values, our actions, and our relationships with others. By understanding and respecting these diverse perspectives, we can appreciate the rich human experience and the many ways in which we seek to understand our place in the universe. But it's also important to remember that death is a natural part of life. It is the one certainty that we all share, and in many ways it gives life its meaning and urgency. Without death, life would lose its preciousness. The knowledge that our time is limited inspires us to make the most of each moment, to seek out meaningful experiences, and to build lasting connections with those around us. Here at the Church of Gnome, we encourage you to not let the fear of death overshadow the joy of living. Embrace each day with the curiosity and wonder of a gnome, and let the mystery of life be a source of inspiration rather than of anxiety. In college, I took a class about death and death rituals from different beliefs, and it was one of my favorites. It was a very eye-opening class. We explored how various cultures and religions understand and handle death, and how these practices reflect their values and worldviews. It taught me the importance of approaching the subject with sensitivity and openness, and how much we can learn from the diverse ways humanity has sought to understand and honor the end of life. In our exploration today, we aim to capture this diversity and richness. We'll look at how different faiths view the afterlife, the rituals they perform to honor the dead, and the lessons we can draw from these practices. By understanding these perspectives, we can find our own paths to peace and acceptance, recognizing that while death is an end, it is also a beginning, a continuation of the soul's journey in ways that transcend our earthly understanding. So, as we dive into this episode, let's keep an open mind and heart, ready to learn and appreciate the many ways in which humanity has sought to understand and cope with the ultimate mystery. Let's embrace the wisdom these traditions offer and find inspiration in their practices. Here at the Church of Gnome, we believe that nearly all belief systems have something valuable to teach us. Maybe that's just not to do what they're doing, depending on which one. And that by sharing and learning from each other, we can all grow and find comfort in the face of life's greatest unknown. And speaking of embracing life, we invite you to become a member of the Church of Gnome. Gnome blessings. Head over to churchofgnome.org, where you can join our wonderful community, or even become an actual ordained minister. It's all free. And then join our Facebook group. This is where we're aiming to build a thriving community, to have discussions just like these and more. We're all here for each other. While you're at churchofgnome.org, you can grab sick merch like this beanie, this sweatshirt, lots of other cool shirt designs, lots of stuff that says not a cult on it, to help remind people that we're definitely not a cult, and I'm not trying to control all your minds. We're not a cult. Also, I put a lot of time in designing. Everyone needs fanny packs. I'm bringing fanny packs back. So don't worry, this advertisement will be over soon. But look at that. Church of Gnome. I went as far into this design as to even put designs on the inner pocket. Look, isn't that wonderful? And it's not done yet. Even on the back of that pocket, more stuff. That's freaking sick, dude. Besides that, people have been wondering since the very beginning of the Church of Gnome, why don't I have gnomes on the website? There's a few reasons. Mainly, it's because basically every gnome that you can buy on Amazon or whatever, they really are just mass-produced ones from like the Alibaba website. Whoa, not kidding. Right this very second. Got a new form. Literally, somebody just got ordained this very second. Obviously, I'm not going to reveal their details and stuff. Sweet. Happy to have you amongst us, individual who just got ordained in Virginia. So, look, things are taking off here at the Church of Gnome. Back to what I was saying about gnomes. I don't want to sell people just mass-produced gnomes that I would just be like buying for a few dollars from China to ship here to then ship out to other people. Want my own, okay? Our own unique ones. And so for a couple years now, I have been actually selling handmade gnomes, such as these, through the Kingdom of Gnome website, but I'm probably going to get these up on the Church of Gnome website. So this 4th of July one I made, by the time this is up on the website and stuff, I doubt it would get to you in time for this 4th of July, but it's still pretty freaking sick. If you're an American and love America, look at that all-American design. And then also, I've got some more wintry Christmas design ones I did. And then I also, for many years now, have been selling hand-carved little wood gnomes, mainly smaller ones, like that big. But I think what's unique about the ones I've been making is I make each one different because I make them out of sticks. So I'll find sticks that are the right thickness, break off a piece of it, and then carve that chunk into a gnome and have the natural features of that branch be prominent in it. Okay, so lots of detours there. We're getting back into it. So grab your gnome hats, settle in, grab your coffee, and let's embark on this adventure together. Remember, in the Church of Gnome, we celebrate the diversity of beliefs that make our world so wonderfully interesting. So now let's get started. We're going to start it out by going through some of the bigger religions in the world. So this first one would be Christianity, which is one of the world's major religions. It encompasses a very rich historical background of beliefs and practices regarding life after death. These beliefs provide comfort and guidance to billions of people, helping them navigate the mysteries of existence and the inevitability of death. Central to Christian doctrine is the belief in heaven and hell, where souls are rewarded or punished. Based on their deeds in life. However, it's important to acknowledge that within Christianity, there is a massive diversity of beliefs and interpretations. So we're just going to dive into various aspects of Christian beliefs about the afterlife and the rituals that accompany death. But obviously, what I'm about to say does not actually specify the whole of Christianity. So in Christianity, the afterlife is generally viewed through the lens of eternal destinations, heaven and hell. Christians believe that after death, souls are judged by God and then sent to either heaven or hell based on their faith and actions during their earthly lives. Heaven is often depicted as a place of eternal peace, joy, and communion with God. It's described as a paradise where there is no suffering or sin, and the faithful enjoy perfect happiness in the presence of God. The specifics of what heaven looks like can vary among different Christian denominations, but the common thread is the belief in a blissful eternal life with God. 1 second.
Hell, conversely, is viewed as a place of punishment and separation from God.
The demons got me there, sorry. Wow, that was wildly inappropriate for me to say in context of trying to host a religious service. Forgive me, anyone who was offended. No blessings. Hell, conversely, is viewed as a place of punishment and separation from God. It's often described as a realm of torment and eternal suffering for those who have rejected God's grace and led sinful lives. The imagery of hell can range from fiery pits to more abstract representations of just the complete separation from God's love. Purgatory is a unique concept, generally more so within Catholicism. It's considered a temporary state where souls undergo purification to achieve the holiness necessary to enter heaven. Catholics believe that purgatory is for those who have died in a state of grace but still need to be cleansed of venial sins or the temporal punishment due to forgiven sins. This belief underscores the idea that even after death, there's a process of purification and preparation for the divine presence. Resurrection and Judgment Day play a significant role in Christian eschatology. Christians believe that at the end times there will be a final judgment. The dead will be resurrected, and each person will be judged by God. Those who are judged righteous will enter heaven, while the unrighteous will be condemned to hell. This belief in resurrection highlights the Christian hope in eternal life and the ultimate triumph over death. So now we're going to explore the death rituals that accompany these beliefs, which vary, of course, across different Christian denominations, but there are common elements that are shared across this faith. So, the death rituals in Christianity, we're going to start with the last rites. And that is an important sacrament in many Christian traditions, especially within Catholicism. When a person is nearing death, they may receive the last rites, which often include confession, anointing with oil, known as the anointing of the sick, and receiving the Eucharist, also called the Viaticum. These sacraments are intended to prepare the soul for its journey to the afterlife, offering spiritual comfort and forgiveness of sins. The funeral service is a significant ritual in Christianity. It typically takes place in a church, funeral home, or at the gravesite and includes prayers, hymns, and readings from the Bible. The service focuses on the celebration of the deceased's life, offering comfort to the grieving and reaffirming the hope of resurrection and eternal life. Eulogies and personal tributes often highlight the positive impact of the deceased had on their family and community, reinforcing the belief in continuing spiritual presence. Regarding the disposition of the body, burial has traditionally been the preferred method, reflecting the belief in the resurrection of the body. However, many Christian denominations now accept cremation as well. The body is often buried in a cemetery with a headstone marking the grave, serving as a place for loved ones to visit and remember. These grave sites are often seen as sacred spaces, reflecting the respect and honor given to the deceased. In addition to funerals, Christians may hold memorial services at later dates to honor and remember the deceased. These services provide ongoing support for the grieving and celebrate the deceased's life and legacy. Memorials can be personalized to reflect the individual's life and contributions, fostering a sense of continuity and remembrance. So now, what are the connections to the Gnomean principles, gnome blessings? The Christian belief in life after death can align with the Gnomean principle of intuitive self-trust, encouraging individuals to live righteously and reflect on the spiritual significance of their actions. The rituals surrounding death, such as last rites and funeral services, emphasize the importance of community support and the continuity of life, resonating with the Gnomean values of harmony with nature and universal unity. Christianity's teachings on life after death offer comfort and hope, providing a framework for understanding death as a transition to a new form of existence. The rituals associated with death help the living honor the deceased, find closure, and reaffirm their faith in the promises of their religion. This blend of belief and ritual underscores the deep human need to find meaning in the face of death and to support each other through the grieving processes. Okay, that's Christianity in a nutshell. So now we're going to go on to Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, Judaism, Zoroastrianism, Shinto, Ancient Egyptian, Scientology, Pastafarianism, Baha'i Faith, Druze, and this, and that, and the other. But first, Islam. Islam, another major world religion with over 1 billion followers, offers detailed and profound teachings about life after death. These beliefs provide comfort and guidance, shaping the way Muslims live their lives and approach the end of earthly existence. It's important to note that within Islam, there is a diversity of beliefs and interpretations across different cultures and traditions. This overview aims to provide a general understanding rather than an exhaustive study of all perspectives. So, life after death in Islam. In Islam, life after death is a fundamental tenet of faith, intricately woven into the fabric of religious practice and daily life. Muslims believe that after death, the soul undergoes a series of events that culminate in eternal reward or punishment based on one's faith and deeds. Jannah, I think that's how it's pronounced, sorry if I get these wrong, which means paradise, is often depicted as a place of eternal bliss, peace, and closeness to Allah. It is described as a garden with rivers, fruits, and unimaginable pleasures where the faithful are rewarded for their good deeds and unwavering faith. The Quran and Hadith, the sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, provide vivid descriptions of Jannah, emphasizing its beauty and serenity. Now, I think it's pronounced Yanam, maybe? Sorry. Hell, on the other hand, is viewed as a place of punishment and suffering for those who have rejected faith, led sinful lives. It is described as a realm of torment and eternal suffering, intended as a warning and means to encourage righteous living. The concept of Jannah underscores the importance of accountability and justice in Islamic theology. The Day of Judgment is a pivotal event in Islamic eschatology. Muslims believe that on this day, all individuals will be resurrected and judged by Allah. Every deed, no matter how small, will be accounted for, and people will be rewarded or punished accordingly. This belief instills a sense of moral responsibility and encourages Muslims to lead virtuous lives. The Barzakh is the period between death and the Day of Judgment. It's often described as an intermediate state where souls await their final destiny. During this time, the righteous experience peace and comfort, while the wicked face a form of punishment. The concept of Barzakh highlights the continuous journey of the soul and the ongoing consequences of one's actions. So now we're going to go into the death rituals in Islam, which are deeply rooted in the principles of respect, dignity, and community. So preparation for burial begins immediately after death. The body is washed in a ritual called ghusl, which is performed by close family members of the same gender as the deceased. The washing is done with care and respect, symbolizing purification and readiness for the afterlife. This act reflects the Islamic value of cleanliness and the sacredness of the human body. After washing, the body is shrouded in a simple white cloth called the kafan. The shroud is typically plain and devoid of adornments, emphasizing the equality of all people in death and the return to a state of purity. The simplicity of the kafan signifies humility and the stripping away of worldly possessions. The funeral prayer, the Salat al-Janazah, is performed in congregation, usually at a mosque or a prayer ground. This prayer is unique because it is offered while standing, without the usual prostrations of bowing. It includes supplications for the deceased, asking for Allah's mercy and forgiveness. The communal nature of the funeral prayer highlights the importance of community support and collective mourning in Islam. The burial follows the funeral prayer and is carried out as soon as possible after death. The body is placed in the grave on its right side, facing the Qibla, the direction of the Mecca. The grave is filled with those present, often participating by placing handfuls of soil into the grave. This act of burial is performed with the utmost respect and dignity, reflecting the belief in the sanctity of human life and the body. The post-burial practices, including visiting the grave, especially on Fridays, to offer prayers and supplications for the deceased. This practice often helps the living remember their own mortality and maintain a connection with their departed loved ones. It also reflects the Islamic principle of remembering death and the afterlife as a means to lead a righteous life. So what are the connections to the Gnomean principles? Gnome blessings. The Islamic belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of harmony with nature. The simplicity and dignity of Islamic death practices reflect a deep respect for the natural order and the human body. Additionally, the communal aspects of these rituals align with the Gnomean value of universal unity, emphasizing the importance of community support and collective responsibility. Islamic teachings on life after death provide a comprehensive framework for understanding death and the afterlife. They offer believers a sense of purpose, moral direction, and comfort in the face of mortality. The rituals surrounding death in Islam are designed to honor the deceased, support the grieving, and reinforce the principles of faith and community. Now, before we move on to Hinduism, we're on a roll today. This is the second person that's gotten ordained just while recording this episode. So for the people that did just get ordained, this is being recorded on the 29th. So you know who you are who just got ordained. So, not to give away deep personal things, but to the wonderful individual from Mississippi who just got ordained, welcome to the Church of Gnome. We're happy to have you. Gnome blessings. And join our Facebook group. All right. That's going to be crazy if we get any more people just while filming this. That's 2 in 20 minutes. The Church of Gnome, it's taken off, okay? It really is taken off. You can go to our website, and I think it shows up on mobile also, but definitely desktop. Just go to the bottom of the website. I have a map showing all the people coming to the website and where they're from. That map is loaded, okay? Oh. Ooh, I'm getting all jacked up. All these people getting ordained. Whoa. Okay, yeah. Where are we at here? Okay. Hinduism. Continuing on. Hinduism, one of the oldest religions in the world, offers a diverse and complex understanding of life after death. The belief and practices can vary significantly across different traditions and regions. This overview aims to provide a general understanding while acknowledging that there is a lot of diversity within Hindu thought and practice. So everything I'm saying, everyone's different, okay? So life after death in Hinduism. In Hinduism, the concept of life after death is intricately linked to the doctrines of reincarnation and karma. These central beliefs provide a framework for understanding the cycle of life, death, and rebirth, known as samsara. Reincarnation, samsara, is the belief that the soul, Atman, is eternal and upon death is reborn in a new body. This cycle of death and rebirth continues until the soul achieves liberation, moksha. The form that the soul takes in its next life is determined by its karma. Karma is the law of cause and effect, where every action has consequences that influence the future. Good deeds lead to positive outcomes, while bad deeds lead to suffering. The cumulative effect on an individual's actions across their lifetimes, not lifetime, lifetimes, influences their future births and experiences. Moksha is the ultimate goal in Hinduism, representing liberation from the cycle of samsara. Achieving moksha means that the soul is freed from the cycle of birth and death and unites with the divine, experiencing eternal bliss and peace. There are different paths to attaining moksha, including the paths of devotion, bhakti, known as jnana, and righteous action, karma. Hindu beliefs about the afterlife are diverse and vary widely. Some traditions emphasize the worship of specific deities and the pursuit of specific spiritual practices to attain moksha, while others may focus on philosophical inquiry and meditation. So now we're going to explore the death rituals in Hinduism, which are deeply symbolic and designed to honor the deceased while guiding the soul in its journey to the next life. So Antyetsi in the Hindu, it is the Hindu funeral rite, often referred to as the last sacrifice. This ritual is considered one of the most important samskaras, sacraments, and is performed to ensure the proper transition of the soul into its next life. Preparation of the body involves bathing and dressing the deceased in clean, often white clothes. The body is typically adorned with flowers and sometimes smeared with sandalwood paste. These practices symbolize purity and respect for the deceased. So you can see that the preparation of the body definitely differs a little bit from Islam, but the intent and the goal of it is the same. Cremation is the most common method of body disposal in Hinduism. It is believed that cremation helps release the soul from the physical body, allowing it to move on to its next destination. The body is placed on a pyre, and the eldest son or close male relative typically lights the fire. The cremation ceremony is often accompanied by Vedic chants and prayers. Ash immersion is a significant ritual following cremation. The ashes are collected and immersed in a sacred river, such as the Ganges. This act symbolizes the return of the body to the elements and the liberation of the soul. It is believed that immersion in holy waters aids the soul's journey towards moksha. Shraddha is a ritual performed to honor and remember the deceased. It involves offering food and prayer to the departed soul, usually performed by the eldest son. Shraddha ceremonies are conducted annually, typically on the death anniversary, to ensure the well-being of the soul in its journey. So, the Gnomean principle tie-in time. Gnome blessings. The Hindu belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of harmony with nature. The practices of cremation and ash immersion reflect a deep respect for the natural elements and the cycle of life and death. Additionally, the concept of karma can align with the Gnomean value of personal growth and learning, emphasizing the importance of actions and their consequences in the journey of the soul. So, Hindu teachings on life after death offer a profound and intricate understanding of existence beyond this life. They provide a sense of purpose and direction, emphasizing the importance of living a righteous life to achieve spiritual liberation. The rituals surrounding death in Hinduism are designed to honor the deceased, support the grieving, and guide the soul on its journey, reflecting the deep interconnection between life, death, and the divine. All right. So now we're making our way to Buddhism. So Buddhism was founded by Siddhartha Gautama. Sorry, everyone probably getting that wrong. The Buddha. We'll just go with the Buddha. Over 2,500 years ago, and it offers a unique perspective on life after death. The beliefs and practices within Buddhism can vary significantly across traditions and cultures, but core concepts such as reincarnation, karma, and the quest for enlightenment remain central. This overview aims to provide a general understanding while acknowledging the diversity within Buddhist thought and practice. So, life after death in Buddhism. In Buddhism, life after death is understood through the concepts of reincarnation and karma, similar to Hinduism, but with distinct differences and interpretations and emphasis. Reincarnation, samsara, refers to the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth that all beings undergo. Unlike Hinduism, Buddhism teaches that there is no eternal soul, Atman, that transmigrates. Instead, it is a continuous flow of consciousness that moves from one life to the next, driven by karma. Karma is the law of moral causation, where intentional actions, good or bad, create future experiences. Karma affects the conditions into which one is reborn, influencing one's life circumstances, character, and challenges they face. Nirvana is the ultimate goal in Buddhism, representing liberation from the cycle of samsara. Achieving nirvana means extinguishing the fires of desire, aversion, and ignorance, leading to cessation of suffering and the end of rebirth. It is a state of perfect peace and freedom from all worldly attachments. Buddhist beliefs about the afterlife vary across different schools. For instance, Theravada Buddhism focuses on individual enlightenment through the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, while Mahayana Buddhism emphasizes the role of, these are some words, bodhisattvas, enlightened beings who choose to remain in samsara to help others achieve enlightenment. So now, death rituals in Buddhism. Buddhist death rituals are designed to support the deceased in their journey through the bardo, the intermediate state, and to help them achieve a favorable rebirth or even liberation. These rituals also provide comfort and guidance to the living. Preparation of the body involves bathing and dressing the deceased in clean clothes. The body is typically placed in a simple coffin, and a picture of the deceased may be placed nearby. Monks or family members may chant sutras, which are Buddhist scriptures, to create a peaceful environment and to guide the deceased's consciousness. Funeral ceremonies can vary widely among Buddhist traditions. It often includes chanting, prayers, and the offering of food and flowers. Monks or spiritual teachers may give sermons on impermanence, the nature of life and death, and the importance of generating good karma. Cremation is the preferred method of body disposal in many Buddhist traditions. It symbolizes the impermanence of the physical body and releases the consciousness in some cultures, such as Tibetan Buddhism. Sky burial, where the body is just left exposed to the elements and scavenging animals, is also practiced, reflecting the belief in the impermanence of life and the cycle of nature. Offering and merit making are important practices following the funeral. Family and friends of the deceased may engage in acts of generosity, such as donating to temples or charities and performing good deeds in the name of the deceased. These actions are believed to generate positive karma that benefits the deceased in their next life. Now, the Buddhism connections to the Gnomean principles in regards to their understanding of death and their death rituals. The Buddhist belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of cultivation of inner peace. The emphasis on meditation, chanting, and creating a peaceful environment for the deceased aligns with the pursuit of inner tranquility. Additionally, the practice of merit making and generating positive karma reflects with the Gnomean principle of personal growth and learning, emphasizing the importance of intentional actions and their consequences. Buddhist teachings on life after death offer a unique and profound understanding of existence beyond this life. They provide a framework for navigating the cycle of birth and rebirth, emphasizing the importance of mindfulness, ethical conduct, and the pursuit of enlightenment. The rituals surrounding death in Buddhism are designed to honor the deceased, support the living, and facilitate favorable transitions for the consciousness, reflecting the deep interconnection between life, death, and spiritual practice. Okay. Now we're going to be going on to Judaism. So after Judaism is when we're going to start getting into the not as big beliefs and religions, I guess you could put it that way. So Judaism, which is one of the oldest monotheistic religions, does have a very rich history and a diverse range of beliefs about life after death. Jewish thought on the afterlife varies, reflecting the development of Jewish theology over the millennia. This overview, once again, is just aiming to provide a general understanding while recognizing that there is a lot of diversity within the Jewish beliefs and practices. So, life after death in Judaism. Judaism's belief about life after death are not as detailed or uniform as those in some other religions. Instead, they encompass a variety of perspectives drawn from different texts and traditions. Sheol, in early Jewish texts, Sheol is described as a shadowy place where the dead reside regardless of their moral conduct during life. It is not a place of punishment or reward, but a neutral realm of the dead. Olam Haba, the world to come, it's a more developed concept in later Jewish thought. It is envisioned as a place or state of spiritual reward for the righteous. This belief highlights the idea of life after death as a continuation of the soul's journey. Gan Eden and Gehenna. Jewish traditions also speak of Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, as a paradise for the righteous, and Gehenna as a place for purification for the wicked. Gehenna is not eternal damnation, but a temporary state where souls undergo purification before moving onto a more peaceful existence. Resurrection. The belief in the resurrection of the dead is a core tenet in Orthodox Judaism. It is anticipated that in the Messianic age, the dead will be resurrected and judged. This belief emphasizes physical and spiritual restoration. And so now we're going to dive into the death rituals in Judaism, which are deeply rooted in respect, dignity, and communal support. Jewish death rituals, known as halakhic practices, are designed to honor the deceased, provide comfort to the mourners, and affirm the community's faith and continuity. Shevra Kadisha, the Holy Society, is a group responsible for the preparation of the body for burial. This involves ritual washing called tahara. The body is cleansed, dressed in simple white shrouds, and placed in a plain wooden coffin. These practices reflect the principles of purity, equality, and respect for the dead. Jewish funerals are typically held within 24 hours of death, reflecting the belief in the prompt return of the body to the earth. The service includes psalms, prayers, and eulogies that honor the deceased and provide comfort to the mourners. The central prayer, El Malah Rakamin, sorry if I got that wrong, asks for the soul's peace and eternal rest. Burial is the preferred method of body disposal, emphasizing the belief in the sanctity of the body and the resurrection. Mourners participate in filling the grave with soil, symbolizing their last act of kindness towards the deceased. This act fosters a sense of closure and communal support. The mourning period is known as Shiva. It's 7 days. It's a time for intense mourning and reflection. Mourners stay home and receive visitors who offer condolences and support. Daily prayers, including the Kaddish, are recited to honor the deceased. The community plays a crucial role in providing comfort and ensuring the mourners are not alone. After Shiva, the mourning period continues with Shlosim, 30 days, which mourners gradually return to normal activities, but still observe certain restrictions. The first Yahrzeit, anniversary of the death, is marked with the lighting of memorial candle and the reciting of the Kaddish. Annual observance of Yahrzeit helps keep the memory of the deceased alive. So the Jewish belief in life after death can resonate with the Gnomean principle, Gnome blessings, of universal unity. The communal aspects of mourning and the practices of honoring the deceased reflect a deep sense of connection and mutual support. Additionally, the emphasis on dignity and respect for the body aligns with the Gnomean principle of sovereignty of body and mind. Jewish teachings on life after death offer a nuanced and evolving understanding of existence beyond this life. They provide a framework for navigating the mystery of death with dignity, respect, and communal support. The rituals surrounding death in Judaism are designed to honor the deceased, support the grieving, and affirm the continuity of faith and community. Okay, next up, we're going on to Zoroastrianism, which is one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. It was founded by the prophet Zoroaster in ancient Persia, which is modern-day Iran, around the 6th century BCE. It has significantly influenced other major religions, particularly in the concepts of dualism and the afterlife. Zoroastrian beliefs about life after death and death rituals are profound and distinctive, emphasizing moral responsibility and the eternal battle of good and evil. And so, as always, this overview is just a general understanding and doesn't speak on behalf of all people who follow Zoroastrianism. In Zoroastrianism, life after death is understood through a series of spiritual stages and a final judgment that determines the soul's eternal fate. Dualism, central to Zoroastrianism, is a concept which posits an ongoing struggle between Ahura Mazda, the supreme god of wisdom and light, and Angra Mainyu, the destructive spirit of darkness and chaos. This cosmic battle between good and evil extends to the individual level, influencing the fate of the soul after death. Upon death, the soul remains near the body for 3 days and nights, reflecting on its deeds. On the 4th day, it embarks on a journey to the spiritual realm, encountering a bridge known as Shinva Bridge. The bridge is a critical concept to Zoroastrian eschatology. The soul's passage over the bridge depends on its moral and ethical conduct during life. Righteous souls, or those who had led a life of good deeds, the bridge widens, allowing them to cross safely to the house of song, heaven, where they join Ahura Mazda in eternal light and happiness. For those who led a life of evil deeds, the bridge narrows, causing them to fall into the abyss below, leading to the house of lies, hell, a place of darkness and suffering. Frasho Kareti is a Zoroastrianism teachings about the eventual end of the world, where all souls will be purified, the dead will be resurrected, and evil will be destroyed. The ultimate renewal signifies the triumph of good over evil and the restoration of creation to its perfect state. Zoroastrian death rituals are distinctive and designed to maintain the purity of the elements, earth, water, fire, and air, while providing for the respectful disposal of the deceased. After death, the body is washed and clothed in simple white garment symbolizing purity. This act of purification ensures that the body is ready for its final journey. Zoroastrians traditionally use a structure known as the Tower of Silence for the disposal of the dead. The body is placed on the tower to be exposed to the sun and consumed by birds of prey. This practice reflects the Zoroastrian principle of maintaining the purity of the earth by avoiding burial or cremation, which could contaminate the sacred elements. The funeral ceremony includes prayers and recitations from the Avesta, which it's a sacred text. The community gathers to offer prayers for the soul of the deceased, seeking its safe passage to the spiritual realm. The Ahunavati Gatha, a significant Zoroastrian hymn, is often recited during the ceremony. After the funeral, the family observes a period of mourning during which they continue to pray for the deceased. Commemorative prayers are held on specific days following the death, such as the 3rd, 4th, 10th, and 30th days, as well as on the first anniversary. These practices help the living honor the deceased and support the soul's journey. The Zoroastrian belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of harmony with nature. The practice of using the Tower of Silence to maintain the purity of the elements reflects a deep respect for the natural world. Additionally, the focus on moral responsibility and the battle between good and evil aligns with the Gnomean value of personal growth and learning, emphasizing the importance of ethical conduct and its consequences. Zoroastrian teachings on life after death offer a profound understanding of the eternal struggle between good and evil, the moral responsibility of individuals, and the hope for ultimate renewal and purification. The rituals surrounding death in Zoroastrianism are designed to honor the deceased, maintain the purity of the natural elements, and support the soul's journey, reflecting a deep interconnection between life, death, and the divine order. All right, dudes and dudettes, we're going to go on to Shinto. Shinto is the indigenous spirituality of Japan. It is deeply rooted in nature, tradition, and the worship of kami, spirits. Shinto beliefs about life after death and the accompanying rituals reflect a profound respect for the natural world and the continuity of life. While Shinto does not have a detailed doctrinal approach to the afterlife, like some other religions, its practices and perspectives provide a unique understanding of death and the spiritual journey. And just like the others, this overview aims to provide a general understanding because everything I'm about to say probably doesn't, not everyone who follows Shinto beliefs probably follows it exactly like what I'm putting. So, in Shinto beliefs about life after death, they are less defined and more focused on the reverence for the ancestors and the ongoing relationships between the living and the deceased. The concepts of the afterlife are interwoven with the ideas of purity, harmony, and the eternal presence of kami. Central to Shinto is the belief in kami, which are spirits associated with natural elements, ancestors, and various aspects of life. After death, individuals are believed to become kami, joining the spiritual realm where they can influence the living. Shinto places great emphasis on the veneration of ancestral spirits. These spirits are believed to reside in the family shrine and are honored through various rituals and offerings. The ongoing care and respect for ancestors reflects the interconnectedness of life and death. In Shinto mythology, Yomi is the land of the dead, a place where spirits go after death. It is often depicted as dark and a shadowy realm. However, Yomi is not a place of punishment, but rather a continuation of existence in a different form. So now we're going to go into the death rituals in Shinto, and they are all deeply rooted in respect, purity, and the continuation of familial and communal bonds. Shinto death rituals are designed to honor the deceased, maintain purity, and ensure the proper transition of the soul to the spiritual realm. These rituals are often a blend of Shinto and Buddhist practices, reflecting the syncretic nature of Japanese religious culture. After death, the body is cleaned and dressed in white, symbolizing purity. This act of purification is essential in Shinto, as death is considered a source of impurity. The family members or ritual specialists perform this cleansing process. The wake, known as Suya, is held the night before the funeral. Family and friends gather to pay their respects, offer prayers, and make offerings to the deceased. The wake is a time for communal support and reflection. Shinto funerals are conducted to honor the deceased and ensure their peaceful transition to the afterlife. The ceremony includes offerings of food, drink, and symbolic items to the deceased. A Shinto priest, the Kannushi, or a Buddhist priest, often lead the service, which includes prayers, chants, and rituals to purify the area and the participants. While traditional Shinto preferred burial, cremation has become more common due to practical and cultural reasons. The remains are placed in a family grave or a designated resting place, often accompanied by rituals to honor the spirits. The mourning period involves rituals and offerings to the deceased, ensuring their comfort in the afterlife and their continued presence as ancestral spirits. This period also includes annual memorial services, nenki, and visits to the family shrine or gravesite to maintain the connection with the departed. The Shinto belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate, like with many others, with a harmony with nature. The reverence for kami and the emphasis on purity reflect a deep respect for the natural world and its spiritual dimensions. Additionally, the veneration of ancestors aligns with the Gnomean principle of historical wisdom, emphasizing the importance of honoring and learning from those who came before us. Shinto teachings on life after death offer a unique perspective that focuses on the ongoing relationship between the living and the deceased, the purity of the natural world, and the eternal presence of kami. The rituals surrounding death in Shinto are designed to honor the deceased, support the living, and maintain the harmony between the spiritual and physical realms. So next up, we're going to be moving along to ancient Egyptian beliefs. So ancient Egyptian beliefs is full of rich mythology, elaborate rituals, and it offers one of the most detailed and fascinating perspectives on life after death. The Egyptians' belief about the afterlife were deeply intertwined with their culture, art, and daily life. This overview aims to provide a general understanding of these beliefs, acknowledging the diversity and evolution of Egyptian religious practices over the millennia. So, the ancient Egyptians believed in a complex and highly structured afterlife where the soul would continue to exist in a different realm. This belief was central to their religion and influenced many aspects of their culture. In Egyptian belief, the soul was composed of several parts. Ka, the life force or spiritual double of the person, which needed sustenance from offerings. Ba, the personality or individuality of the person, often depicted as a bird with a human head, which could travel between the physical world and the afterlife. And the Akh, the transformed eternal soul that resulted from the successful union of the Ba and Ka after death, representing the deceased's new existence in the afterlife. After death, the soul embarked on a perilous journey through the underworld, known as the Duat. This journey involved passing through various gates, encountering gods, and facing numerous challenges and obstacles. A crucial part of the journey was the weighing of the heart ceremony, overseen by the god Osiris. The deceased heart was weighed against the feather of Mot, goddess of truth and justice. If the heart was lighter than the feather, the soul was deemed righteous and granted access to the afterlife. If it was heavier, it was devoured by Amit, the soul eater, resulting in the soul's annihilation. Successful souls entered the field of reeds, Aru, a paradise where they enjoyed an idealized version of their earthly life, engaging in activities they loved and reuniting with loved ones. The ancient Egyptians developed intricate and elaborate rituals to ensure the successful journey of the soul to the afterlife. These rituals were designed to protect the body and soul, provide sustenance, and secure the favor of the gods. Mummification was a critical process in ancient Egyptian death rituals. It involved preserving the body to ensure the soul could recognize and reunite with it in the afterlife. This process included embalming, the body was cleaned and purified, organ removal. Internal organs were removed and placed in canopic jars, each protected by a specific deity. Drying, the body was dehydrated using natron, a natural salt, to prevent decay. Wrapping, the dried body was wrapped in linen strips, often with amulets and spells inserted between the layers for protection. The mummified body was transported to its final resting place in a grand procession accompanied by mourners, priests, and offerings. This journey symbolized the deceased's passage to the afterlife. The opening of the mouth ceremony. This ritual was performed to restore the deceased's ability to eat, speak, and breathe in the afterlife. A priest would use a ceremonial tool to touch the mouth and eyes of the mummy or statue of the deceased, symbolically reanimating their senses. Tombs and grave goods. Tombs were elaborately decorated with scenes from the deceased's life and equipped with goods for the afterlife, including food, clothing, jewelry, and tools. The tomb served as both a residence for the ka and a place for the living to make offerings. After burial, the living would continue to make offerings at the tomb or temple to sustain the ka. These offerings include food, drink, and prayer, ensuring the deceased's ongoing well-being in the afterlife. The ancient Egyptian belief in the afterlife and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of historical wisdom. No blessings. The detailed rituals and emphasis on preserving knowledge and tradition reflect a deep respect for history and continuity. Additionally, the importance of balance and justice in the afterlife aligns with the Gnomean principle of gratitude practice, emphasizing living a balanced and righteous life. Ancient Egyptian teachings on life after death offer a rich and elaborate understanding of the journey beyond this life. They provide a framework for navigating the challenges of the afterlife with detailed rituals and practices designed to protect and sustain the soul. The rituals surrounding death in ancient Egypt are a testament to the civilization's deep spiritual beliefs and their efforts to ensure a harmonious transition to the afterlife. So next up, we got Scientology. Scientology was founded by L. Ron Hubbard in the mid-20th century, and it offers a modern and unique perspective on life after death. Offers a lot of unique stuff in Scientology. Oh, Scientology. The religion is based on Hubbard's writings and teachings, which emphasize spiritual enlightenment and the understanding of the human mind. This overview aims to provide a general understanding of Scientology's beliefs and rituals related to life after death, and I recognize that these practices probably vary amongst the followers. In Scientology, life after death is understood through the concept of the thetan, which is the individual's true spiritual identity. According to Scientology, the thetan is an immortal being that exists independently of the physical body and mind. The central belief in Scientology is that the person is an immortal spiritual being, a thetan who has lived through multiple past lives and will continue to live after the death of the current physical body. The thetan transcends the physical universe and is considered the true essence of the individual. Scientology teaches that thetans have lived through many past lives and will be reborn into new bodies after the death of the current one. The experiences and traumas from these past lives can affect a person's present life and well-being. Scientology practices aim to address and clear these past traumas to achieve spiritual enlightenment and freedom. The ultimate goal in Scientology is to progress along the bridge to total freedom, a series of levels or stages of spiritual development through auditing, which I kind of like their counseling process and training. Individuals work to clear their minds of negative influences and achieve higher states of awareness and spiritual freedom. This journey is believed to help the thetan achieve liberation from the cycle of birth and rebirth. Death rituals in Scientology now. Scientology does not have or elaborate on highly structured death rituals like some other religions. The focus is more on the ongoing journey of the thetan rather than specific ceremonies for the deceased. Memorial services in Scientology are designed to honor the life and achievements of the deceased and to support the living in their grief. These services can include readings from L. Ron Hubbard's works, reflections on the deceased life, and expressions of hope for the Thetans' continued journey. The emphasis is on celebrating the individual's contributions and reinforcing the belief in the immortality of the Thetan. In the period following a death, Scientologists may engage in auditing sessions to address any grief or trauma associated with the loss. This practice aims to help individuals process their emotions and continue their spiritual development. The Scientology belief in life after death and the associated practices resonate with the Gnomean principle, Gnome blessings, personal growth and learning. The emphasis on spiritual development, addressing past traumas, and achieving higher states of awareness aligns with the Gnomean values of self-improvement. Additionally, the focus on the immortality of the Thetan reflects a belief in the ongoing journey of the soul, similar to the Gnomean respect to the mysteries of existence. Scientology teachings on life after death offer a modern and unique perspective focused on the spiritual journey of the Thetan. They provide a framework for understanding the continuity of the soul beyond physical death and emphasize the importance of spiritual development and clearing past traumas. The practices surrounding death in Scientology are designed to honor the deceased and support the living, reflecting the religion's focus on spiritual growth and enlightenment. Now we are moving on to one of the most sacred of all religions across time and space. A religion that undoubtedly played a big role in the formation of the Church of Gnome, Pastafarianism. Pastafarianism, also known as the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, the FSM. It's a satirical religion. Well, that's disrespectful. I don't think it's satire. There's a lot of people that don't think it's satire. Religion that was created in 2005 by Bobby Henderson, and the origins of it were somewhat of a protest against the teaching of intelligent design in public schools. While it's rooted in humor and parody, Pastafarianism also offers thought-provoking commentary on religious beliefs and practices. This overview provides a general understanding of Pastafarian beliefs about life after death and the associated rituals. So, in life after death in Pastafarianism offers a light-hearted and humorous take on the afterlife, reflecting its overall approach to religion and spirituality. Heaven, according to Pastafarian belief, heaven is a wonderful place filled with endless delights. Notably, it includes a beer volcano and a stripper factory, or a place of great happiness for those who prefer a more inclusive and less objectifying version. This parody of traditional depictions of heaven is intended to highlight the sometimes arbitrary nature of religious doctrine about the afterlife. Similarly, hell in Pastafarianism is almost identical to heaven, but with a few inconvenient differences. The beer from the beer volcano is stale, and the strippers, or other entertainers, have sexually transmitted diseases. This twist underscores the absurdity of punishment in the afterlife based on arbitrary criteria. With some of these other religions that we just went through, that's how Pastafarianism looks at it. So Pastafarianism does not prescribe specific death rituals as its practices are intended to parody traditional religious ceremonies. However, adherents may incorporate humor and references to the flying spaghetti monster into their memorial services. A Pastafarian memorial service is likely to be informal and filled with humor, reflecting the values of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. Attendees might dress in pirate regalia, make toasts with beer, and share fond and funny memories of the deceased. The service could include readings from the Gospel of the Flying Spaghetti Monster or other texts. The Pastafarian approach to life after death and death rituals aligns with the Gnomean principle of openness to mystery. Gnome blessings. By parodying traditional religious beliefs, Pastafarianism encourages questioning and critical thinking about the nature of existence and the afterlife. Additionally, the emphasis on humor and lightheartedness resonates with the Gnomean value of joy and creativity, promoting a playful and imaginative perspective on spirituality. Pastafarianism offers a unique and humorous take on the afterlife, using satire to critique and reflect on traditional religious beliefs. While it may not provide the same level of spiritual guidance as other religions, it encourages critical thinking and a playful approach to existential questions. The practices surrounding death in Pastafarianism could be designed to celebrate life with humor and creativity, reflecting the church's emphasis on joy and irreverence. So this next one we're moving on to, it's one that I only found out about very recently. Actually, I found out about this one as I was forming the Church of Gnome, just from various YouTube searches I was doing, trying to learn about a bunch of different beliefs, trying to find smaller, more obscure religions, like when I was looking up videos on Pastafarianism and stuff like that. But the Baha'i Faith, which isn't a satirical faith, it's a very real one, and it's been around for a long time now, but it seems that it's getting more and more attention as there's been a number of celebrities coming out saying that they're part of this faith. Lots of interesting videos on it, as with any religion. Yeah, I'd say it's one. At some point, I might do a full deep dive into this and other religions, because all of them have things that can be critiqued, and all of them have things that are good, just as anyone could do with the Church of Gnome. So, don't want to go on too far of a rant, so I'm just going to get into it. The Baha'i Faith, founded by Baha'u'llah, I think, in the 19th century, emphasizes the unity of all people and religions. It offers a unique and profound perspective on life after death, focusing on the soul's eternal journey and its development. This overview aims to provide a general understanding of Baha'i beliefs and rituals related to life after death. Because, like the others, I can't say that what I'm about to go through is what every single person believes that's part of that faith. In the Baha'i Faith, the soul is considered eternal and its journey continues beyond physical death. Life on earth is seen as a period of spiritual growth and preparation for the next stage of existence. The soul is viewed as a distinct and immortal entity created by God. It begins its journey at the moment of conception and continues to evolve after physical death. The purpose of life is to develop spiritual qualities and virtues that will benefit the soul in the afterlife. The Baha'i teachings describe the afterlife as a realm of progress and nearness to God. Unlike some religious traditions that depict the afterlife as a static place of reward or punishment, the Baha'i Faith envisions it as a continuum of spiritual development. Souls continue to advance in their understanding and closeness to God. In the Baha'i Faith, heaven and hell are not physical places but states of being. Heaven is the state of being close to God and experiencing his presence, while hell is the state of being distant from God and deprived of his presence. These states are determined by the soul's spiritual condition and actions in this life. The Baha'i writings emphasize that each individual will be judged based on their deeds and intentions. However, the ultimate judgment and grace belong to God. The focus is on personal accountability and the continuous growth of the soul. The Baha'i Faith has specific guidelines and rituals for handling death, reflecting its principles of dignity, respect, and spiritual continuity. After death, the body is treated with great respect. It is washed and wrapped in a shroud made of silk cotton. A Baha'i burial ring is inscribed with a specific prayer and placed on the finger of those who are 15 years of age or older. The Baha'i Faith mandates burial within an hour's journey from the place of death, reflecting the principle of simplicity and respect for the body. Cremation is prohibited as it is seen as a denial of the body's sanctity. A specific prayer, known as the Prayer for the Dead, is recited at Baha'i funerals. This prayer is intended to aid the soul in its journey to the afterlife and to offer comfort to the grieving. Baha'i funeral services are simple and dignified. They typically include readings from the Baha'i writings, prayers, and reflections on the life of the deceased. The focus is on celebrating the soul's eternal joy and the spiritual growth it will continue to experience. The Baha'i Faith encourages remembrance and prayer for the deceased. Annual commemorations, such as the anniversary of the death, are observed with prayers and gatherings to honor the memory of the departed soul. So, how does the Baha'i Faith and their belief in life after death connect to the Gnomean principles, Gnome blessings? The Baha'i belief in life after death and the associated rituals can resonate with the Gnomean principle of personal growth and learning. The emphasis on the soul's continuous development and the focus on virtues align with the Gnomean value of lifelong learning. Additionally, the Baha'i principles of unity and respect for all people reflect the Gnomean commitment to universal unity. The Baha'i teachings on life after death offer a profound and hopeful perspective on the soul's eternal journey. They emphasize spiritual growth, accountability, and the nearness to God as the ultimate goal. The rituals surrounding death in the Baha'i Faith are designed to honor the deceased, provide comfort to the living, and support the soul's transition to the next stage of its existence. So now we're going to move on to one that this is one where in all the different theology classes that I had taken, I don't remember ever coming across this one. So that's why I thought it would be a good one to throw into the mix. Also, because this one is a bit older than some of the others that we've gone through already. It is the Druze religion, an offshoot of Islam that began in the 11th century in the Middle East. It incorporates elements from several different religions and philosophies. The Druze community is known for its unique beliefs, which are closely guarded and known in detail only to its initiates. And so, like always, what I'm about to go through, I can't claim is what every person of that faith believes. This is more a general overview. The Druze religion believes in reincarnation and the eternal nature of the soul. This belief is central to their understandings of life and death. The Druze hold a firm belief in the transmigration of souls. They believe that the soul is eternal, and upon the death of the body, it is immediately reincarnated into a new body. This cycle continues until the soul achieves purity and enlightenment. The process of reincarnation is influenced by the actions and moral behavior of the individual in their past lives. Each reincarnation is an opportunity for the soul to learn, grow, and purify itself. The ultimate goal is to achieve a state of spiritual enlightenment and unity with the divine. The Druze believe that individuals must live righteous lives to improve their spiritual condition in subsequent incarnations. Unlike many religions that believe in a single final judgment, the Druze see the judgment as an ongoing process that occurs with each reincarnation. The soul's progress and moral integrity are continually evaluated, influencing the conditions of its next life. So that does sound a little bit like the concepts of karma. Druze death rituals reflect their beliefs in reincarnation and the importance of community support during times of loss. After death, the body is washed and prepared by family members or community members. This act is performed with respect and dignity, reflecting the belief in the soul's transition to a new life. Druze funerals are typically simple and focused on prayer and readings from the Druze sacred texts. The service is conducted by a religious leader known as Ukal, the wise, who are knowledgeable about the esoteric teachings of the faith. The funeral is an opportunity for the community to come together to support the family and honor the deceased. The Druze practice burial, and the body is interred into a simple grave. The burial site is usually located within a Druze cemetery, which serves as a place for communal remembrance and respect for the deceased. The grave is marked with a simple stone, often without elaborate inscriptions. The mourning period is a time for reflection, prayer, and support for the grieving family. Community members visit the family to offer condolences and support. The Druze emphasize the importance of community solidarity and mutual aid during times of loss. Annual memorial services, known as Khatma, are held to honor the deceased and pray for their soul. These services are an important part of maintaining the connection between the living and the departed and reinforcing the community's spiritual bonds. The Druze belief in reincarnation and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of personal growth and learning. The emphasis on spiritual progress through multiple lifetimes aligns with the Gnomean value of continuous self-improvement and learning. Additionally, the strong sense of community and mutual support reflects the Gnomean commitment to building a supportive and compassionate community. The Druze teachings on life after death offer a unique and profound understanding of the soul's eternal journey. They emphasize the importance of living a righteous life, continual spiritual growth, and the role of the community in supporting both the living and the deceased. The rituals surrounding death in the Druze religion are designed to honor the deceased, provide comfort to the living, and support the soul's transition into its next incarnation. So, we're down to the final two now. We're going to do Sikhism and then a general paganism. So Sikhism, founded in the 15th century in the Punjab region of India by Guru Nanak, emphasizes the oneness of God, the equality of all people, and the importance of living a truthful and righteous life. Sikh beliefs about life after death and death rituals reflect their core principles of devotion, community, and continuous spiritual growth. So once again, this overview just aims to provide a general understanding of Sikh beliefs and rituals related to life after death and does not reflect everyone across the faith. In Sikhism, life after death is understood through the concepts of karma, reincarnation, and the ultimate union with God. Sikhs believe in the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, samsara. The actions, karma, performed in this life influence the conditions of the next. Good deeds and a righteous life lead to a better rebirth, while negative actions result in a lower form of existence. The soul continues to reincarnate until it achieves liberation. The ultimate goal in Sikhism is to achieve liberation, mukti, from the cycle of samsara. This state, known as mukti, is attained through devotion to God, living a truthful and righteous life, and meditating on the name of God, Nam Simran. Upon achieving mukti, the soul merges with God and experiences eternal bliss. Unlike some religions that believe in a final judgment day, Sikhism teaches that judgment is ongoing based on one's actions throughout their various lifetimes. God is seen as the ultimate judge, and the soul's progress towards liberation is a continuous process. Sikh death rituals are designed to honor the deceased, support the grieving family, and reinforce the community's faith and unity. After death, the body is bathed, dressed in clean clothes, and covered with a white sheet. This process is carried out with respect and dignity, reflecting the belief in the sanctity of the human body. The Sikh funeral service, known as Atam Sanskar, involves prayers and hymns from the Guru Granth Sahib, the Sikh Holy Scripture. The service is conducted by a Granthi, a Sikh priest, or a knowledgeable member of the community. The focus is on celebrating the life of the deceased and reinforcing the belief in the soul's journey towards God. Sikh prefer cremation over burial, as it symbolizes the release of the soul from the physical body. The ashes are typically scattered in a river or other body of water, reflecting the belief in the soul's return to the natural cycle of life. During the funeral service, prayers, ardas, and hymns, kirtan, are recited to provide comfort to the grieving family and to invoke God's presence. These prayers emphasize the impermanence of life and the eternal nature of the soul. A bog ceremony is held after the cremation, where the Guru Granth Sahib is read continuously from beginning to end, a Akhand path. This ceremony can take place immediately after the cremation or within a few days. It serves as a way for the community to come together, offer prayers, and provide support to the grieving family. Following the bog ceremony, a communal meal, langar, is served. Langar is an essential part of the Sikh tradition, emphasizing equality, community service, and sharing. It provides an opportunity for the community to offer condolences and support the family. The Sikh belief in life after death and the associated rituals can resonate with the Gnomean principle, universal unity. The emphasis on equality, community support, and continuous journey of the soul aligns with the Gnomean values of interconnectedness and compassion. Additionally, the focus on living a righteous life and seeking liberation reflects the Gnomean value of personal growth and learning. Sikh teachings on life after death offer a profound understanding of the soul's journey towards liberation and union with God. They emphasize the importance of living a truthful and righteous life, devotion to God, and the support of the community. The rituals surrounding death in Sikhism are designed to honor the deceased, provide comfort to the living, and reinforce the community's faith and unity. So now we're moving on to the finale. Gonna do paganism, and encompassed in this, it has some of Wiccan, some of Norse. I know there could have been an individual thing for so many different forms of paganism, but I put this generalized one together. So paganism encompasses a wide array of spiritual and religious traditions that often center on reverence for nature and polytheistic worship. Given its diverse and decentralized nature, pagan beliefs about life after death and associated rituals can vary significantly. This overview aims to provide a general understanding of some common themes and practices within modern pagan traditions, acknowledging the rich diversity within this spiritual path. Pagan beliefs about life after death vary widely, reflecting the diversity of the traditions under the pagan umbrella. However, several common themes can be identified. Many pagans believe in reincarnation, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This belief holds that the soul experiences multiple lifetimes, learning and evolving with each incarnation. The specifics of reincarnation beliefs can vary, some pagans viewing it as a process leading towards spiritual perfection, and others seeing it as a way to continue their connection with nature and the divine. In some pagan traditions, particularly within Wicca, the afterlife is described as the Summerland. This is a peaceful, idyllic place where souls rest and rejuvenate before their next incarnation. It's often seen as a realm of beauty and tranquility, free from the struggles of the physical world. Drawing from ancient traditions such as Greek, Roman, and Norse mythology, some pagans believe in an afterlife in the underworld or otherworld. These realms are often ruled by deities like Hades or Hell and serve as places where souls dwell after death. The nature of these realms can vary from places of reward and punishment to realms of mystery and adventure. Many pagan traditions emphasize the importance of honoring ancestors. The dead are believed to continue existing as spiritual beings who can offer guidance and protection. Rituals to honor the ancestors are common, reflecting a deep respect for the lineage and the wisdom of those who have passed on. Death rituals in paganism are as diverse as the belief themselves, but they often share common elements of nature reverence, community involvement, and honoring the deceased. Pagan death rituals typically involve the respectful preparation of the body. This may include washing and anointing the body with oils, dressing it in ceremonial clothing, and decorating it with flowers, herbs, or other natural elements. The preparation is usually done by family members or close friends, emphasizing the personal connection and respect for the deceased. Pagan funerals are often personalized to reflect the belief and preferences of the deceased and their family. Ceremonies can be held outdoors in natural settings, such as forests, gardens, or near bodies of water. To honor the pagan connection to nature, rituals may include prayers, chants, and invocations to deities or spirits, as well as the sharing of memories and stories about the deceased. Both burial and cremation are practiced within pagan traditions. Green burials, which emphasize environmentally friendly practices, are popular among many pagans. These burials avoid the use of embalming chemicals and non-biodegradable materials. Cremated remains may be scattered in nature, placed in a sacred space, or kept in an urn. One of the most significant pagan festivals related to death is Samhain, celebrated on October 31st. Samhain is considered a time when the veil between the living and the dead is thinnest, allowing for communication with ancestors and spirits. Rituals during Samhain often include lighting candles, setting up altars with photos and mementos of deceased loved ones, and holding feasts to honor the dead. The pagan belief in life after death and the associated rituals resonate with the Gnomean principle of harmony with nature, gnome blessings. The reverence for natural settings in death rituals and the belief in the cyclical nature of life align with the Gnomean values of environmental stewardship and interconnectedness. Additionally, the emphasis on personalizing rituals and honoring ancestors reflects the Gnomean commitment to building a supportive and compassionate community. Pagan teachings on life after death offer a rich and wide array of beliefs that emphasize the continuity of the soul, the importance of nature, and the deep connection to ancestors. The rituals surrounding death in paganism are designed to honor the deceased, provide comfort to the living, and maintain a harmonious relationship with the natural world. They reflect the diversity and depth of pagan spirituality and its profound respect for the cycles of life and death. All right, my fellow Gnomians and curious explorers, we're wrapping it up. So we're going to dig into some of the commonalities across these various religious beliefs about life after death. And it turns out that while details might differ, many faiths share some universal themes that unite us all in our quest to understand the great beyond. And that's what the Church of Gnome, that's like what it's all about. What can we learn from all the different beliefs and everyone's diverse backgrounds and cultures to help our own understanding of our place in this wild universe? What's going to happen when we die? What resonates best with you? I don't have the answers because I'm not a cult leader. Definitely not a cult leader. So I'm not giving you the answer. Find it yourself. Find what works for you. So let's don our gnome hats and embark on this enlightening journey together. One of the most widespread beliefs is that the soul continues on after our physical bodies have given up the ghost. Whether it's through reincarnation, resurrection, or some spiritual transformation, the idea that there's more to come after this life is a comforting thought for many. Reincarnation. Picture it like hitting the reset button on a video game. Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and some pagan traditions believe that the soul gets a fresh start in a new body. Each life is a chance to level up spiritually until you finally break free from the cycle. Resurrection. Christianity and Islam take the approach that after a one-time life, the soul gets a grand finale. The righteous get VIP access to heaven or paradise, where eternal bliss awaits. Spiritual transformation. In Zoroastrianism, the soul is judged and moves to a realm of reward or punishment. Sikhism and the Baha'i Faith focus on ongoing spiritual progress, aiming for that ultimate union with the divine. Now, judgment and moral accountability. No pressure, no pressure. But many religions believe that what you do in this life really matters for the next. The idea of judgment keeps everyone on their toes, encouraging us to be the best gnomes that we can be. Live like gnomes. Gnome blessings. Heaven and hell. In Christianity, Islam, and Zoroastrianism, there is a clear divide. Heaven is the ultimate reward, and hell is the place you definitely don't want to end up. Your deeds determine your eternal destination. Karma. In Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, it's all about balance. Good deeds earn you brownie points for a better next life, while negative actions might land you in a less desirable circumstance. Ongoing judgment. Sikhism and the Baha'i Faith keep the evaluation process rolling. It's like a spiritual report card that gets updated with each life, guiding your soul closer to the divine. Rituals and practices for honoring the dead. Across the board, death rituals are a big deal. They help the living say goodbye, honor the deceased, and ensure the soul's smooth transition to the next phase. Funeral ceremonies. Most religions have a playbook for funerals, complete with prayers, hymns, and sacred texts. These ceremonies often involve family and friends coming together to celebrate the life of the deceased. Burial and cremation. Depending on the faith, you might end up buried or cremated. Green burials are gaining traction, reflecting a growing concern for our dear Mother Earth. It's all about returning to nature in a respectful way. Memorial services. Annual memorials and rituals help keep the memory of the deceased alive. They provide comfort and a sense of continuity for the living. Think of them as spiritual check-ins with loved ones who have passed on. Belief in an afterlife realm. Many religions describe an afterlife realm, a special place where souls hang out after their earthly journey ends. Christianity, Islam, and Zoroastrianism paint a pretty rosy picture of the afterlife, where everything is awesome and you get to chill with the divine. Pagan traditions like Wicca talk about the Summerland, a lovely place to rest and recharge. Other pagans believe in the underworld or otherworld, where adventures continue. The ancient Egyptians had the field of reeds, an idyllic afterlife where you could kick back and enjoy an enhanced version of earthly life. Emphasis on moral and ethical living. When it comes down to it, most religions agree on one thing: living a good life matters. Live like gnomes. That's what they're all saying. They just haven't realized it yet. Maybe I am the Messiah. Maybe I'm the one that connected the dots just there. I'm not the Messiah. We're not a cult. Gnome blessings. Whether it's through moral codes, spiritual practices, or acts of kindness, the goal is to make this life and the next a better place. Moral codes and laws. Religions like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism have clear rules to live by, guiding believers towards righteous living and hopefully a good afterlife. Spiritual growth and enlightenment. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, it's all about growing spiritually and seeking enlightenment. Meditation, devotion, and ethical living are key. Services and compassion. The Baha'i Faith and Sikhism put a big emphasis on serving others and showing compassion. It's all about making the world a better place for everyone. Connection to the Gnomean principles. Say it with me now. Gnome blessings. These common beliefs about life after death align beautifully with several Gnomean principles, as we've touched on a few of these a number of times throughout this. Personal growth and learning. The idea of spiritual development and moral living fits right in with our value of lifelong learning and self-improvement. Harmony with nature. Practices like green burials and nature-centric rituals reflect our commitment to environmental stewardship. Universal unity. The focus on interconnectedness and compassion resonates with our principle of universal unity, bringing us closer together. Exploring life after death across different religions reveals that despite our differences, we share common hopes and fears about what comes next. These similarities highlight our universal quest to understand the mysteries of existence and find comfort in the face of death. Here at the Church of Gnome, we celebrate these diverse perspectives, encourage everyone to explore, learn, and support one another on their spiritual journeys. And there you have it, fellow Gnomians and curious minds of the world. We've journeyed through the fascinating beliefs and rituals of life after death from a diverse array of religions. We've seen how different cultures and faiths approach the mysteries of what comes next and how they honor their departed loved ones. Whether it's the cycle of reincarnation, the promise of heaven, or the tranquil realms of the afterlife, each belief system offers unique insights and comforting thoughts about the great beyond. At the Church of Gnome, we embrace this diversity of thought and encourage a spirit of exploration and learning. Remember, our goal is not to tell you what to believe, but to provide a welcoming community where you can explore what resonates with you, learn from others, and maybe even have a bit of fun along the way. After all, our motto is to live like gnomes, and that means living with curiosity, joy, and an open heart. If you've enjoyed today's episode and want to be part of our growing community, head over to churchofgnome.org. There you can become a member of the Church of Gnome and even get ordained as a minister, all for free. Plus, I want all of you to join our Facebook group where I'm trying to build up a thriving community for discussions like these, support for one another, and just sharing of ideas. It's a place where we can continue this conversation and more. Thank you for joining us on this spiritual adventure. Keep living with curiosity and joy. And don't forget, live like gnomes. Oh, one more. One more with me, everyone. Get ready. Prepare for the gnome hat bow. Hands up in the gnome hat. Gnome blessings to you all.